What's up, everybody? Good evening, and we're back with Tip Tuesday. And as I told you guys earlier today, we have another great, amazing show lined up for you today. We have two amazing people that are going to be talking to today. They're great in the industry. They're going to be giving you some great information, some great tips, and some great knowledge to actually thrive during this pandemic. But before we introduce them, I want to bring my team back on in. Lady D, Brother Reg, come on in, guys.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Tip Tuesday.
Yeah, we're back, guys. We are back and we're ready for part 2 of our series of promoting Black entrepreneurs and promoting Black owners and Black business, supporting Black business. And we're, again, as I said earlier, super excited to have these two young people who are incredible in their field and in their knowledge. But we had a great time earlier. We had a little, in and out. But Barbara Bates, come on, guys, that was great.
She was great. She was great. It was a great time.
Yeah, so looking forward to again revisiting and having her back on the show. She gave so much great knowledge, and so we were so excited about having her back on the show. But now, tonight. Again, do I sound excited?
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Listen, because I really like, especially this young man. Like, he's close to my heart. I just met this young lady, but she's magnificent. She's incredible. But this young man, he's incredible. His knowledge, and he's just brilliant. And I'm so proud of all the work that he continues to do. And so, but he'll talk about all that. So right now, what I'll do is I'll turn it over to Lady D and Brother Reg. Lady D, you can introduce our first guest, and Brother Reg, you can introduce our second guest, or vice versa, however you guys want to do it. It's up to you guys.
All right. Well, first we have Jeff Osuji. Jeff is an innovative brand.
Say it again.
Jeff Osuji.
There you go. You got it.
Innovative brand builder, connector, and revenue driver who helps companies execute high-level marketing campaigns to deliver impactful change with new consumers. He has a passion for collaborating with Fortune 500 companies and government organizations alike and optimizing their outreach strategies to reach niche markets while helping curb health disparities and or maximizing consumer interaction. That is Jeff Osuji.
What's up, Jeff?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for the introduction, man. I hope you guys are blessed.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
So good to see you, young man.
Good
to see you. So, Reg, bring in our second guest.
I have the pleasure of introducing Diane Mitchell. At Average Black Girl, we help minority companies scale into the millions by using cutting-edge marketing strategies, lead generating web design, project management, and securing partnerships. They've worked with companies like We Buy Black, Chicago Metro, OBGYN, and Pulse of Perseverance. My specialties include web design, courses and master classes, email automation, Facebook ads, advertising project management, growth strategy, and social media consulting. They also manage a community melanin business by Diane Mitchell, which has over 500 members. You can request access on their Facebook group page, Melanin Business. Let them help take your brand to the next level and bring you in your dream clients. You can visit the website at averageblackgirl.com and dianemitchell.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Diane Mitchell.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Danielle. So good, happy to have you here today, you and Jeff. Again, we've already talked offline, and I'm super excited about the knowledge and information that you're getting ready to share to our viewers and our listeners today. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into it. Like I said, we're here to soak in all this knowledge. Again, we're going to actually give them advice on how to thrive during the pandemic. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about just all that things that incorporate in how to continue to grow and build. And so I know we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of things we want to talk about today. Hey, Jeff, do me a favor, little bro. You kind of focus your camera a little bit more for me.
No,
It's a little blurry.
We need to get a little bit closer, or what do we need?
Just a little blurry.
It's a little blurry. Or a little bit better. Need a little more light. We're still good.
Should probably just leave it alone because
It's good. Yep, good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, we're not gonna mess with too much. Matter of fact, whatever power you believe in, whatever God you believe in, just point to the TV and say, "Give us an hour and a half, no nothing. Just let us do this." There we go, Jeff. There you go. Yeah. Give the power of prayer do right quick. There we go.
Hey,
whoever you pray to, hey, it's on you. I just wanted to be a clear picture. But hey,
is it clear now?
Oh yeah, you pray that. Don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing at all. Don't touch nothing. But hey, again, Danielle, Jeff, hey, the platform is you guys. Take it away.
Wonderful. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's always good to connect with my homie Danielle, fellow alumni. We went to college together. I think we're really here to share some practical knowledge. I know I can kind of speak from recent experiences with regards to having to pivot from running a business that was event-based primarily, actually two businesses, Pyramid and Event Noir, that are event-based, and really having to pivot to other businesses. And I'll kind of just start off by saying that one thing that I always wanted to make sure that I did for the past 8 years while working, in corporate America, was primarily make sure that I had options. The best thing that you can have in life is options. So when obstacles arise, you're able to kind of pivot. And so I always heard that every millionaire had 7 streams of revenue. So my goal for the past couple of years is to build 7 streams of income. And last year, I finally did that through multiple businesses and investments. And that's when I decided to step away from corporate America into focusing primarily on my businesses. Now, y'all can speak just with my experience briefly, but I went from hosting events, promoting events, and focusing on my ticketing platform 100% to kind of shifting to the needs of COVID and focusing on my other company, which is focused on healthcare, while still managing all my businesses. And also decided to, that people weren't necessarily spending money on events anymore. And with the recession, with COVID happening, people are more so focused on their finances. And it really made me think that I need to go ahead and get a real estate license so I could help the same folks who I've been helping have been my customers in my event space to really attain financial freedom, because now people are specifically focusing on how they can protect what they have and build what they have. So really, one thing we want to speak to is the importance of transitioning and focusing on your customers' needs and making sure that you can add value there. Danielle, you want to add to that something?
Yes, absolutely. So March, I made no money. All of my speaking engagements were canceled, not postponed, but canceled. And for me, being a entrepreneur where I make all of my connections through relationships. So I actually was booked to speak out of college, and I just knew I might get, a couple of clients and be done for the rest of the quarter. That's how I move. Like, I'm in different organizations for networking. And that's both professional, personal. I'm a Delta. I'm a part of different professional marketing organizations. We've built this, and I'm on the board of the South Suburban Small Business Association. These things were strategic so that I'm always having one ear to my target. And when that was canceled, so was one of my pending contracts. And so at that point, what do? Right? You can't go out and meet your client or meet your connection, because I'm fast. I'll meet you on Monday. I'm sending you contracts on Wednesday. We sign in by Friday. We start in next Monday. It's a really easy transition because I can meet the person, figure out what their needs are, and move on. Now we're in COVID. COVID means that we now need to figure out how we can show that same expertise. We can do that same connectivity, but online. So what I did was I shifted and I started creating workbooks, planners, and all those type of things. So the first thing I did was I had an idea. I was working with an organization last year, and the owner had breast cancer. She was a breast cancer survivor, and so they did something really big every October for breast cancer. And so I had the idea to do a coloring book, and I pitched it to the organization. They didn't like it. So when COVID came, I created my own. So I created an adult coloring book for breast cancer patients. From there, I sold like 200 books in like 1 month. Right now it's on Cancer Wellness Magazine. Like they're selling it for me. I'm fulfilling it. And then from there, I was like, okay, that was pretty easy. It took me, I think, 4 weeks to make it. What else can I do? So I made a marketing workbook. The marketing workbook is now in place of like my business card. People are buying that, seeing that it's high quality. And then they're like, well, how can I get one for myself? Or how can you help me with what you're talking about? And then my service have switched. I'm no longer my main source of income as your strategist, but I am helping businesses, specifically service-based businesses, create digital products so that they can grow and scale as well. So courses, master classes, ebooks, workbooks, planners. I have 10 items on Amazon, 10 different planners. I have a finance planner, a prayer journal, her business planner, his business planner. Like I just keep making them because people keep selling them. And I've changed that. Before we were, Average Blacker was the marketing resource center, but now we still are, but now we're creating those products for everybody and those people that can buy over and over again. I've had college roommates buy my coloring book. Some of my roommates don't want to be an entrepreneur, so they had no business buying any of my other stuff, but they'll buy a coloring book. They'll get one, right? And so I have 20 items that I'm going to create before the end of the year, and we're already done with 10, and we have about 6 or 7 more to go, and then the rest are already in production. And so that's how I've pivoted, and I preach to everyone, like, you need a digital product. And I think a physical product, because once I sell it or once the transaction is done, it's over, versus we have weekly cadence calls for like my higher ticket, and I still have those, but it's a lot of, it's more work. I'm not going to say it's a lot of work because I love what I do and it's fun, but this is how you can truly grow and scale without having to build an army of people, right? Because I thought about it, and I don't want to build another Danielle. I'm comfortable being the only me, and I don't want to create someone else or to create another me and then deal with them. You know, I'm not trying to do that. Yes, I have interns. Yes, I'll grow you, but I don't want to give you my strategist. I'd rather just work with a select number of people one-on-one throughout the year and then sell my products and grow and scale that way.
I love it. And the beautiful thing about us being home, right, is the fact that we're able to kind of sit back and focus and identify what our passion is. One of the blessings for me with regards to COVID has been me really understanding. I always knew that I had multiple talents and multiple businesses, but they're all interconnected. And I kind of had to sit back and realize how. I realized my passion is scaling solutions that help improve access for African Americans and improve the quality of life for African Americans. So whether that's hosting events so I can create experiences for Black folks, whether that's with Event War, where we're hosting ticket solutions and recycling money back to some of the organizations that we work with, or whether it's with MD Newsline, where we're helping to diversify healthcare information for minority populations. It all ties in together. And COVID gives us a chance to sit back, think about our passions, think about how they're all interconnected, and figure out how we can grow them. So I actually had a contract with a client that got pushed back. It was supposed to launch in January, and it got pushed back. It didn't start until October. And it was a significant amount, that was going to help me actually scale and grow my business, since it was a new business. So what I did was I shifted from working on that particular business to working on how I was going to shift Event War from in-person events to virtual events. When I realized that a lot of people host virtual events nowadays, and everybody needs to build awareness of them. So I started charging for marketing services. When people started seeing that I was doing that, there was a number of small businesses and friends who were also launching their businesses. And because I've hosted events for 15 years, it's enabled me to build a huge database of customers. We all have a sphere of influence, and no matter what business you have, make sure that you're collecting customer data, and so that you can build consumer relationships, but also that you have that data so that you can promote your product in any other product that you have. So I then started charging small businesses to do marketing for them. Forged another revenue stream. So really take the time right now to focus on your business's needs and wants and figure out how you can adapt your business to today's model. If you look at the economic recession, movie theaters were the first to suffer, just like movie theaters closed initially. But what you found was that movie theaters ended up slashing prices to almost half the cost and ended up started booming because everybody was at home. Everybody wanted to escape reality. Everybody wanted entertainment. And so we know that in a recession, entertainment's always going to be something that people are going to run to. Liquor sales, they say, booms, and entertainment. So figure out how you could adapt your business model, whether it's from a pricing perspective, whether it's focusing on a subset of your customers, or whether it's really driving awareness because everybody's on a computer now. So everybody's looking at digital ads. Everybody's watching more and more television. And even more importantly, for anybody that's looking for new customers for their business, everybody's at home. So it's easier to get a meeting than ever before because nobody can tell you they're traveling or they have a flight here or there. So definitely take advantage of that and figure out how you can turn these opportunities into wins. Danielle, I have a question for you. What's been the biggest lesson you've learned from this, untimely pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a difference between being recession-proof and pandemic-proof. And so that's different. That you can't always look at the stats from before because there are a lot of things that are not normal. It's not normal for your kids to be e-learning if you didn't want to be a homeschooling mother or father. It's not normal for you to have to quarantine for 14 days after you travel. It is, for me, like, it's not normal for me not to be able to get to my hairstylist whenever I want to. And so we're changing the type of hair, things that we do. Like, it's a lot of stuff that is just not normal. So for me, I give a lot of my clients grace. They're like, you are so patient. I'm like, we in a pandemic. Like, there's no rules to this. So as long as you pay me, whatever, I don't care how we do this. But one of the biggest things that I've learned this year is applying for stuff. Let's talk about the funding that was probably always there, but I never applied for. Didn't even think in my mind that I wasn't qualified. I was scared or not. I didn't know or whatever that looked like. Mind you, I have my business in order. I don't know why I wasn't. I don't know what that was. That was a limiting belief that we have now moved forward. So for anybody that doesn't have their stuff together, I plead and beg for you to get it together before the end of the year. Because everybody that didn't have their stuff together before February 2020 was not qualified for any of the substance that, other people benefited from. And that's everything. For me, I've personally been able to get 3 of the benefits. I've gotten the PPP, the EIDLA, and the pandemic unemployment. And for the PUA, a lot of people that I talked to, they were like, what? I didn't even know you qualify for that. Like, yeah, you don't have to stop working to get that one. You just had to be affected by the pandemic, and everybody was affected. It's things like that you just, well, I'm scared. I don't know if I should. Well, if you don't have a business or you're lying about how many clients you have or workers you have, yes, don't do it. But if you really have a legitimate business and you have a legitimate bank account, at least apply. The worst thing that they can say is no. So for me, for Black Friday, what I'm doing is I'm buying from Jerry Tolliver, her business credit accelerator course, because there's things about business credit that I don't understand. I know that I have a decent amount of traction. I think I've had a business bank account for 4 or 5 years. So I have a nice whatever, but I don't know the words. I don't know what that means. I don't know the calculations. And so that is what I'm focusing on going into 2021, to understand what that looks like and really use that to take my business to the next level.
Great point. I think that in any situation like we're in right now, you kind of have to position yourself to be ready to take advantage of opportunities. I think that's one of the things Danielle talked about. I also was able to take advantage of some of the grants that were out there and some of the loans that were out there. In addition to that, just the racial climate of America right now, you do have some companies that are stepping up to write checks. And so every week I'm Googling to see what kind of business or corporation is doing grants for small business.
Wow.
Hennessy just finished they had their Hennessy Unfinished business program. They just launched round 2. I think they're going to have 3 rounds where they're giving away some money Amazon's giving away some money. Google gave away some money to, I think, about 10 Chicago Black founders. And so if you look at, I was just looking at today, and there was another company. So definitely leverage Google. Put yourself in a position, make sure your business is, your paperwork is right. Make sure you file your taxes. They're asking for, not asking for much paperwork outside of tax documents, your EIN. So whatever you do, if you're doing it, you should have an LLC or a corporation to formalize it and put yourself in a position to win. If there's one thing we learned from this pandemic, it's that ownership is an opportunity to put you ahead of folks. And I specifically will speak to just what I've learned just in real estate alone. There's been plenty of grants for rental assistance for landlords who actually have tenants that aren't paying their rent. However, there hasn't been that much, and there is some assistance for tenants, but there's a lot more grants out there and a lot more money out there for business owners. So put yourself in position, go downtown, file your paperwork. I think you can even do it online now. But take advantage of the grants that are out there. Take advantage of the small business loans, which have very low interest rates. And I would say 100%, if you don't own your home right now, look into getting in touch with a lender. I'm happy to get you set up with a lender that can get you pre-approved for a home. Take advantage of a FHA loan where you can get 3.5% down and get grants that will actually help cover your loan in terms of your down payment and help with that. And get yourself a house, because I was blessed to have lived rent-free for 4 years, living in a multi-unit building and having 2 tenants. And so it put me in a position where I was able to save some money and put myself in a position where I was able to leave corporate America. And now I'm getting ready to sell that house so that when there is a recession and the housing market crashes, I'll be in a position to be able to purchase multiple homes at a discount. So really set yourself in a position. The same thing with the stock market. They say there's going to be a 20% correction. Put yourself in a position where you have some cash, so you have some flexibility, so that you can make some necessary moves when those opportunities arise. And that's what thriving is all about. Thriving is all about putting yourself in a position to win, diversifying your portfolio, and taking the time to learn, read books, podcasts, all that, to just empower yourself, because this is the perfect time to set up some big wins for 2021.
So I have a question for you guys. So a lot of our listeners and viewers that we deal with Next Showcase USA are more so on the creative arts side of the spectrum. So we have a lot of artists that are singing, dancing, with rappers, what case may be. And a lot of them don't understand that their individual self are actual brands. How can they take advantage of the type of situations that you guys are talking about, and then also break down to us what are the PPP? What is a PPP? And Danielle, you said a couple other loans that you want to ask. What are those? What do they stand for? So, because there are a lot of people out there that say, "What is a PPP?" A lot of them may not know what they is, and then how, as an artist. Because again, like we talked about earlier, we have a lot of people from different walks of life, diversified, that's watching the show on today. But how would a creative arts person be able to benefit from the knowledge that you guys are giving out today?
Man, that's a great question. I'll jump in and let Danielle pick it up, since I was just babbling. But the PPP is a Paycheck Protection Program. It's an SBA loan that helps businesses keep their workforce employed. So it's ideally for people who have employees. If you are your own employee, you can still qualify for it. But it's a very low interest. I think it's 1% interest loan from the Small Business Administration. And the last thing I'll say before I pass it on to Danielle, there was just some funds released by Governor Pritzker that were specifically meant to help with those who are in the arts and entertainment industry who were originally left out. So definitely look into the SBA. Look at the PPP loans and grants that are specifically for arts and entertainment. I will, if you reach out to me or inbox me, I'll make sure I shoot you over that link. But they just released some funds specifically for those folks in the entertainment industry.
Yeah. And the PPP was already approved that if you got under, I think, 50,000 or something like that, it was either 50,000 or 500,000, something like that, it was forgiven. So then it turns from a loan to a grant. You just have to do your paperwork. And the EIDLA, that was a loan that is lower. The lowest interest rate that I've ever seen is lower than any credit card. So again, it's like you could do it personally or you could do it business-wise. And for business-wise, you just get a lot more perks and you don't have to pay anything for a year. So for me, it's like people were saying, well, I'm scared. What if I don't make it back? Well, why do you got to spend it all? That's what I said. Just bring it, give it back if you want to, right? But who says that if you get 10K, you got to spend all 10K, or if you get 20K, you got to spend all 20K? Who says that? You're actually supposed to be using it for your business. So use it for ad money, or use it for a course, or use it for something to benefit your business. That's what you should be using it for. The PPP, that's for your personal. That's what you should be using for your personal expenses if you want to be correctly on what is for what. And then the pandemic unemployment was literally for assistance if you were a 1099 worker, if you were a contract worker, if you were a gig worker, if you were a even an owner, a business owner, anything like that, you could apply. So that's again for the artists and anybody that was getting paid for your hours or your service or whatever. You're getting paid by gig, that counts. That was for you because you don't qualify for regular unemployment. So that was for them. And for, so that's what that is for, I think. And there's more out there. So it's really like looking. Now, as far as the artists, you need to figure out how you're going to monetize your brand. Because a lot of people with followers that don't make any money is because they're not monetizing it. And so it can be as simple as paying a designer to come up with your little brand or logo or whatever, and using a drop shipping, which is where they print, they ship, and you just get a cut. And there's Printify you can use Printful, you can use Teesprings, and that's just a select few. You can connect it with your website, and people don't even know that it's drop shipping. They're buying from your website, and you're automatically integrating the two, and then they take the money, they ship, they print, and you're good to go. That's one way. Another way, if you're an artist, you could be selling your things on Etsy. I know one guy that I'm Facebook friends with, and he's like made $30,000, I think, in the last 30 or 40 days for just selling his art on Etsy because it's growing and people are buying and stuff. And that's not his only job, right? He has a regular 9-to-5 and is still doing that. So there's ways to do it, but again, you're building that brand and leading them to a call to action. You're building that know, like, and trust so that when you do release something, they know. You can also partner with brands. Have a media kit, be pitching with people. I know Dove was giving out $8,000 contracts for body positivity last year. So again, there's money to be made. You just have to state your case, know who your audience is, and make it make sense, right? If you are a vegan, then you don't need to be selling meat products. Make it make sense.
100%. And one thing about the artists out there, I always stress, have a marketing budget. Really, the way you build your buzz is through relationships and through marketing, and of course your team. And I look at myself. I got a couple of artists that kind of asked me to manage them, and I know that I don't really have the time right now. But if I was an artist, I would talk to every major promoter in every city because they all have distribution lists to the same people you're looking to reach. Whether it's text messages or email marketing. Whenever you're getting ready to put out some new music, and you definitely want to leverage your own following as well. But see if you can pay a promoter $50 a post. All of them are out of work right now for the most part. They're not doing any parties. So for the most part, the DJs and the event promoters from all major cities will take $25, $50 to do a social media post of your record. So get creative. Of course, you're going to have to figure out how you can make a couple dollars. But trust me, most corporations out here that make billions and millions of dollars, they're investing a minimum of 10% into advertising and marketing, a minimum. If you look at, I work with a lot of pharmaceutical companies, and they are investing 13, 15% of their money into marketing and advertising. You guys see all the commercials you guys get from pharma companies. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself. The best investment you can make is in advertising and marketing your music. And again, everybody's at home. So get on LinkedIn. There's a lot of brands that want to partner with artists who are in the trenches, who have a way closer to the people than they can ever be, especially in Black culture.
Yeah.
So Red Bull has programs for artists. You'll notice my friend just sold in a sponsorship of Foot Locker with Lil Durk, and he was in a commercial, right? So don't be afraid to get on LinkedIn and Google a brand that you're really passionate about. And say, look, I'm an up-and-coming artist. I have a nice little following. I'd love to figure out how I can partner with your brand. Brands spend millions of dollars on brand ambassadors. But I would say this, if I was an artist, I would invest a lot of money in the marketing because as you guys know, there's a lot of trash on the radio. And there's a lot of talented folks that don't get opportunity simply because people don't know about them. So invest in marketing and invest in relationships. Leverage LinkedIn, because if you're on LinkedIn, there's a lot of people that can change your life that are on there. And you simply have to Google marketing and the brand of the company, and you can reach out to them. Pay that extra $10 a month for a LinkedIn premium account. It gives you more access to folks. But definitely think about how you can make merch. One of my friends has a company where they just make merch for artists and other brands, and see if your friends who will listen to your music will purchase a $20 shirt from you, right? Turn your fans into customers.
Absolutely. And that's all about, so with LinkedIn, let's talk about that. So why LinkedIn, right? Because a lot of people need to know why. They just won't go and do something. So for LinkedIn, prior to the pandemic, 45% of LinkedIn users made over $75,000 or more. So you're looking for somebody to be able to pay whatever you're looking for in one lump sum, not payment plans. That's your people. That's where you want to go. And so, like Jeff said, I call it corporate stalking, but literally that's what LinkedIn is for. Everybody, think about a McDonald's, right? If a McDonald's fry cook or local cook couldn't help you, but somebody that's in charge of like community engagement, oh, they can change your life. But you got to figure out how to do it. And so for a lot of times, you can't just go to the CEO. You got to be connected to the CEO, but you wouldn't just go there. I like to go for the office administrator because they're a lot nicer and they can also book you. So I book my own interviews for a lot of times because I just will call the lady, email her, or if I can figure out what the email sequence is, because a lot of times it's just first letter, last name, or it's first name, last name. Like you got to be creative. You got to start figuring out how things are working here in the org chart. And then I will just talk to them and they'll be like, no, this person is like really mean, but you can go ahead and I'll put you with this person because it's nicer. Or if you just come to the office around this time, I will push you in. Like there's so many ways that I've like gotten myself into places just because I ask, I'm strategic, but I also figure out how things work. How do org charts work? And granted that I did work in corporate, so I know how it goes a little bit. But you can do the same thing as well. There's nothing wrong with, like you said, utilizing LinkedIn for what's going on. I call LinkedIn like the area that can really, truly break the glass ceiling because you can connect with the person that is the decision maker without having to go through the HR managers or all this different, whatever. But in order to do that, you want to make sure that you're consistent, that you have a brand on LinkedIn. So for me, as a marketing person, I use Google Alerts. So I have Google Alerts for marketing, and anytime something is popping off in marketing, it's getting sent to my email. Same thing with grants now, right? We got strategic. Anytime there's grants or Black business grants, I'm getting an email alert that something has happened. That allows me to have one ear to the streets without really having to, search and spend hours and stuff. You can do the same thing for whatever you're looking for. If you're talking about, if you have a specific movement, if you're talking about something, right? If you have a song about domestic violence, well, October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You should have been partnering with shelters and all these different types of things to push your business. That's a lane that's untouched and that's new, and people have money for that. Non-for-profits have money. It's just been donated, right? There's a misconception that if you have a non-profit that you don't have any money. That's not true. For a lot of them, they don't. But for a lot of them, they do. They have one. If they're established, they do have money to give. Just have to figure out how you can work your story. So the last thing I'm going to say is be organized. Have an Excel document of first name, last name, business company, who I talk to, and then I have mine color coordinated. Red, do not respond to them or don't reach out. Yellow, okay, this person has a yes, they're gonna follow up in 2 weeks or follow up for this person. And then green is like, you good to go. Make sure you follow up with whatever they're looking for. Like the money is in the follow-up, because the first time you reach out to somebody, it's very unlikely that they are the decision maker or that they're the only decision maker. So people get discouraged, and it's a long game, which is why for me, I pitch myself about 5 to 10 businesses a week. Nothing too crazy, but just consistent enough that when it hits, and it's consistent. I would do the same for you. And that's what I do with my clients as well. But again, be strategic and don't do it out of desperation. People can sense it, and it makes you, it's not your true self, and it comes off really like people can sense the desperation. So make sure you're in a right mindset to pitch yourself.
100%, 100%. Also, shout out to my girl Leah Alexis. See her in the chat as well. What's going on, girl? So I definitely wanted to talk a little bit more about the from a music perspective. Check out the Breaker app. A couple of Chicago brothers, both Timmy and Dan, launched a music breaker app for musicians particularly. And their app is essentially pays influencers to help promote your music. So it's a new app. They're looking for partnerships. There's surprising people that you should check out. Check out Breaker app on Instagram. 2, Danielle brought up a really good point about outreach and sales. There's a Google template called Mail Mergers with attachments. It's a Google add-on you can add on. It allows you to email up to 50 people a day with the same message. You just type in their name and their email address. I've been able to I made one company $17 million. Let's leveraging that platform and leveraging my contacts, right? When I was in full-time sales. So understand this, we're all in sales. You're constantly selling yourself. And it's about being prepared for the sale. So if you see music executives that you're interested in reaching out to, if you see brands you're interested in reaching out to, get their information. Everything's available on the internet. They email 50 of them a day, 50 of them a week. You know, it's essentially a numbers game where you're trying to build relationships. So that's one thing that I want to share. Take advantage of brands. Take advantage of marketing. I can't really build that enough. And right now there's an opportunity for you to host a virtual concert, right? And that's something actually we want to do with the Venoir. We're looking for local artists to host virtual concerts right in their homes, and you can have people tip you, all right? And that's something we want to do just to promote our platform more. And thank you to Next Showcase. They've been an amazing partner. I appreciate Mark and Reggie for everything you guys have done to push our ticketing platform, but it's a Black-owned ticketing platform for us, by us, and we're looking for artists to work with. And, you know, I have 50,000 emails. If I like your music, I'm willing to partner with you, and I'll send out some information about you to folks. And, you know, you'll be able to, you know, ask for tips during the event, things like that. So let's just figure out how you can monetize your fan base, because even if you have 50 people that rock with your music, if you can get them to spend $100, $100, $10. I remember Nipsey Hussle sold his album for, I think it was $1,000. Or it was either $1,000 or it was $100, I think it was. But just be creative in your marketing, and don't worry about having the masses rocking with you. Focus on your customer base and super serving them and actually embracing them. And they're going to embrace you as well.
Well, I actually want to speak on Event Nora, right quick. Again, it's one of the best ticketing platforms you would ever come across. They also sold back into the community, which is something that attracted me the most about them as well, is that they don't take from, you know how some companies continue to take and never give back. There's one thing they're proud upon is when you're partnering with them, a part of their business strategy, they also sow back into your business as well. So I advise everybody. I know there's other ticketing agencies out there. Forget about those.
Thank you. One thing I want to add.
I've used Jeff's email marketing and have gotten sales. So if anybody's listening out there and is wondering if they should do it, definitely do it. And you know, I was selling my coloring book, and I still.
Oh, you some class, by the way. One thing I did want to add about that is, you know, they say that the dollar stays in the Black community. I think it said 6 hours. And I think it said 17 days for white folks, 30 days for Asians, right? So we got one thing we're really about is trying to figure out how we can recycle money back into our communities. So a main thing I want to say is, look, this is a time now more than ever that to invest in your friends' businesses, because if we're all spending money with each other, we're all going to have more money. So, you know, one of the things we can thrive during this pandemic is keep money within our communities. We know we have the influence. We know that hip hop's the #1 music genre out there. We know we have the culture. We know we have the clothing, but what we don't have is ownership. So the more that we can own what we have and actually work with each other, you know, if your friend's getting money from you, he's more in a position to give you a loan, right? So one thing that I also say is, if you have a business idea, I've been spending the last year talking to investors. primarily non-Black investors who may or may not be as interested in investing in Black tech founders. We get less than 1% of VC money. But there's a couple of platforms called Republic, Start Engine, WeFunder, where crowdfunding is an opportunity, where you have your friends donate as little as $200 if you have a business idea, right? And there's actually a company called Fanbase. They just raised $1 million in a couple of hours through crowdfunding. So instead of just asking for the GoFundMe's, start a business and you can give out some shares within the company so people actually have equity. So those are things. If you have an idea, I'm happy to help you kind of formulate it, but also there's plenty of resources out there. And crowdfunding allows you to raise money within your network. So.
And there's a question about Lace wants contact information for your virtual concerts.
My contact is jeff@eventnoir.com. So jeff@eventnoire.com. So I'll be happy to connect like this.
And I do believe that we'll be posting the contact information at the end of the show, so you guys be able to reach out and contact both Danielle and Jeff to get more information on how to support them in their businesses as well, because that's what this series is all about today. It's not just empowering our people, but it's also supporting our local and our Black-owned businesses. And again, we don't put just anybody on our show. We actually invite people that we know that are above board and that we know their integrity is on point, and we know that when you deal with them, you're going to actually get what you are investing your time and your money and your resources in. So again, guys, listen, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the information that you shared on tonight. I know we could go on and on and on and on. But one thing that we want to do, and I'll see if Lady D and Rich have any questions. We want you guys to go on and go on and go on, but we also want our listeners to support you guys. So a lot of this information that you guys are getting for free, you may want to drop a couple of dollars and go back in and support them in their business. I mean, I know they, borderline millionaires, but let's go on. It's going to push them over to being a millionaire.
God willing, work on it. We're on the way.
So that's what we hear about is, again, that's how we started this series and supporting Black business. We actually started this Saturday. Well, help me out, Reggie. I'm gonna mess up her business.
Bailey Beautiful Bites, Tony Bailey. Yes. She joined us with her cooking lessons and teaching Mark how to cook on air. Jeff, if you haven't checked it out, check out the YouTube or the Facebook clip. Mark is not a cooker, so this was the first time in the kitchen. It is hilarious.
Listen, in school, in school where we literally survive off of Roman noodles. That's what I did, and I went away, then I came back, and I went to DePaul University, so I wasn't that far from home. So I'll go home and eat. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I never really had that much to really learn how to cook. Praise the Lord, but it's hilarious. And so, but then earlier today, we had one and only icon and fashion designer herself, Barbara Bates. And so again, we continue to support and push Black-owned businesses. And again, tonight we have two of the best to ever and that would ever do it. Danielle and her organization, because I don't want to mess it up. Help me out.
That was Black Girl.
There you go. And Jeff.
Osuji.
Not your business. We're not doing last names. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, Jeff Osuji.
Yes.
So,
yes. Even so, guys, make sure you guys go out and support them. Let's bring up that presentation, not the presentation, the slide about the workbook, Lady D.
Yeah, so anybody that's listening, if you go to aboveaveragestore.com, there I'm giving away for $1 the Make Money with Marketing workbook. And so it just breaks down the 6 pillars of marketing that I believe you need to be successful. So we start by figuring out what you're good at and how you can create whatever it is that we talked about today. Then we talk about your custom audience and how to create your audience and connect with them. And then we're talking about some of the marketing must-have so that you don't feel like you're wasting time on social media, but you're actually making posts that build that know, like, and trust factor so that people can feel confident buying from you.
Awesome. So guys, go out there. $1. Grab it now. You know what I'm saying? Grab it now. Lady D, Reggie, did you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I actually I do have a question as it relates to some of the things that you guys have started doing because of COVID. You mentioned Danielle mentioned how you've taken your platform digital and some of the things that you're doing. And Jeff, you have the virtual platform for concerts. Are these some things that you guys plan to continue post COVID? Some business practices that you plan to continue?
For me, absolutely. I always wanted to create a library of digital products and to really grow and scale. It's just that COVID forced me to do it in all 1 year, right? Because for me, now, granted, I know we're going to be in COVID for a little bit longer. My dad works at Advocate, so I'm a little bit privy to how long it's really going to take. But when it's over, I don't want to be in a situation of creating, right? In my mind, and maybe a lot of entrepreneurs can agree, like it's the difference with creating versus selling. Creating is like a whole process that you have to go through. And for me, the first book I created myself. The second book, I found designers. Like I have streamlined that process and now I'm doing it for other people. And so that's the type of balance that I want to have in my life. But I also understand that it's not my first year, right? So don't compare your year one to somebody's year 8 or year 10 or whatever. But I want to be more of a CEO than the main person doing a lot of the work. And digital products allow you to do that. And so for me, I won't. And I'm actually encouraging the people that I'm working with to also see that because burnout is real. And it's just a lot easier to do this. And I can see how people have already been doing it. Like I understand the process. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what such and such was already doing, or this is what this larger woman that was doing. So I look at both white and black leaders. So I look at, oh, this is what the Amy Porterfield or the Marie Forleo was already doing. I now have kind of opened my eyes because I've sat down and figured it out. But I've also found the designers to work with. I have 10 designers that I work with depending on what I'm trying to do and what's the style. So that took some time to find them. But once I find them, I do it. And then I'm also very like, there are certain things I won't share. Like, no, I don't share my designers with people. That's just me, right? Because people ask. And so you got to make sure as a service-based provider, there are certain things that are just mine and mine only, and I'll do it for you. We can trade and barter, but you're not gonna know who it is.
Exactly.
We have a friend.
I always struggle with that. I feel like I give out a lot of resources that I could hold tight, but you know, I tell you, you gotta. I like that. Now, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. No. So for me, 100% of Vinwar was already something that we would, invest a lot of money in, and really our own money in bootstrapping. And the virtual piece was just something that was a natural transition. But I think it's something that's going to stick around for a while. But I think people are itching to get back to when we can be in an environment we can face to face. So there's going to be explosion of live events, but we're for sure that these virtual events are going to be here to stay. So that's something we're definitely going to do. Real estate is really the biggest thing that kind of changed my life since the pandemic hit, because now I'm in a position where I'm not just helping my friends with events and information, but I'm actually seeing myself help my friends get their first property. And I understand the world of generational wealth and real estate, how they're tied together. So it's really something that's been really amazing. Because every time I get a friend under contract for a house, I understand that I'm helping them build a legacy for their children. So, and plus I'm having great conversation, just educating people about real estate in general, because there's so many different ways to invest, whether it's owning the home or investing in a real estate deal. So I'm getting ready to kick off, a fix and flip investment. And so everything that I'm doing is going to keep going because I'm building seeds. And my thing is, if I have all these businesses and I'm investing into them daily, I'm going to look up 4, 5, 7 years, and they're going to be, huge firms. And I won't be begging people, with these institutions to invest in, because my friends are investing, and we'll sell the companies for a lot of money. That's the plan.
Awesome. Lady D.
I didn't have any questions. Just more of some comments about like the grants and things they were talking about. Those are some of the things that I took advantage of as an entrepreneur. So I did research some of those things, and so I do know some people that didn't know about some of those things. So I was trying to give some people information about some of those grants and loans and things that they could get, because people just don't know, or they think that they don't qualify. But it's just more about giving people information. Everybody thinks they know a lot about business when they really don't.
Yeah, I'm on listservs, so I've joined grant listservs. If anybody's interested, if you DM me, I'll find which ones I'm on. But I didn't know anything either, but now I get what's available 2 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, apply. Only thing I can say is yes or no.
Right.
Apply. Apply. And would you guys suggest that, like, even individual artists, that they become or get their own or develop their own LLCs? Would you suggest
Absolutely. Even if you don't know what you want to do now. I remember when I first opened my business bank account, I had just quit my job with Coca-Cola in Atlanta, moved back home with my parents. My dad moved me, and he took me to the bank account and gave me $100 and was like, open this bank account. I was like, all right, and never looked back.
Right.
Now I thank him for pushing me to do it so fast, because now I have longevity and all that stuff that they look for when it comes to credit history. And he was just like, whatever, you need to, if you're gonna really do this, I don't know why you quit that good job, but if you're gonna really do this, then here, do it correctly. Don't get yourself sued.
See, the objective. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say that the LLC gives you protection. So, liability company, it's your liability. So that what happens, the corporation can take the hit as opposed to yourself. People aren't going to go after your house. Me being in event space for so many years, we have to have it, because if somebody slips at a party or somebody fights, gets hit with a bottle, I want people coming after my home, right? But in addition to that, there's a lot of tax benefits. You can write off business expenses associated with your LLC. So whether it's your gas for your car, if you're leasing a car, portion of your rent, if you're taking somebody out to eat, traveling. I traveled to Los Angeles last week to support a friend for his pop-up that I'm doing some marketing for. That's a business expense. I'm going to write off those flights. So the LLC allows you to write those off. And when I talk about writing those off, it means you're able to make tax deductions that limit your taxable income. And so that's where you have billionaires like Bill Gates that pay next to nothing for taxes. That's why you guys might have seen Donald Trump and the fact that he doesn't pay a lot of taxes, because they have businesses that enable them to write off expenses. Then it also puts you in position for those grants. So everybody, it's I think they made it cheaper now. It's maybe $100 to set up your business.
Yes.
And I really encourage everybody to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at one point it was like,
on what city you're on. A lot of people go to like cheaper cities and run an LLC, and that's legal as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Indiana.
Yeah.
I know a lot of friends who established the LLCs in Indiana, and but they function here in city of Chicago, etc. So, but I do admonish everybody, please take this information, develop your LLC, because we have a lot of artists who they just only they can focus on is making music and making beats, but not the business aspect of it, where they can be able to survive when things like this do happen. So we wanted to make sure that you understand that there is information that is out there that you can get and that you need to have, so you can be able to sustain yourself when things like this happen. So about thriving during a pandemic, because no one saw this coming, but a lot of artists, a lot of businesses, a lot of people, entrepreneurs who have the LLC was in the positions to actually, like I said, apply for different grants and different things like that allowed them to be able to get a source of resources to help them to at least make it to the next level, or to the next time we'll be able to apply again, because we do understand that it's going to run out real soon. But 2021, January 20th, that's what we're looking forward to. Yes. Yes. So, but again, guys, thank you guys so much. I know you guys are extremely busy, And we wanted to again start this series, but we're going to bring you guys back, and we're going to actually do a workshop where people can actually come in and go to different classes and take you guys classes or courses that you'll be able to offer to them and get some more information one-on-one with them as well. So we're looking forward to putting something together that way as well. So my staff is looking at me like they're looking at me real strange because I always throw things out there like that. That face, it's all about that face right now. Like, here we go with another event Mark is coming up with. But hey, that's just me. But I love them. This is just part of, not even a fourth of the team, but I appreciate the entire Next Showcase team and all the endeavors that they embark upon. But again, guys, thank you so much for being a part. Danielle, I'll start out with you to give your contact information that people can be able to follow you and get in contact with you again.
Yes, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest at Average Black Girl. And you can email me at Danielle@averageblackgirl.com. Or you can just go to averageblackgirl.com and you can see my shop, you can see my blog, you can see all the things that I have. And I look forward to helping you to create your next digital or physical product so that you can have that passive income that we were talking about.
Awesome. And Jeff, little bro?
Yes, sir. Jeff, you can reach me at Jeff Prosuji on Instagram, Jeff@eventnoir.com. Man, I'm always on Instagram and social media. So happy to connect. If I can help you with your small business, if I can help you, somebody looking to buy or sell a home, I'm here. So that's all. Thanks so much for your time, guys.
Thank you, guys. So again, guys, thank you guys so much. This is so much great information. Hey, guys, listen, it's posted on Facebook. Don't forget to go out, reshare it. More people to look and grab this information. Again, you guys have a blessed, safe Thanksgiving. Stay safe, mask up, be careful. And again, we appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well, there's another successful show. All right.
Yes.
Rachel, your audio went out, Reggie. Can hear you.
I had myself muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, just another great conversation. All of the artists and some others that are operating not properly.
Right.
Yeah, what you need to do. LLC. Do it.
Hey guys, you know what?
Yeah.
I know this has nothing to do with it, but I either gonna get me like a phone book or something because the pictures look like I'm like sitting down way down here. And y'all look
Right.
I've been looking at that the whole time. I'm like, I really look like my name is like my chin is like right here on my face. Everybody else up here. I'm like right here. Okay, that had nothing to do with the show.
Well, one thing over the last few months though, I've helped a lot of people because that's one of the things that I do as part of my business is help people create their business. So I've done that over the last 4 or 5 months, helped a lot of people start their business because the thing that I really don't like is people saying, "Oh, I do this on the side." Like, what do you mean you do it on the side? That's your business.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's no side business. You need to have that as your business. Say that I am a brand. That's my brand. It's not on the side. It's not my hustle. It's a business.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get together and create. It doesn't, don't take that long. But a lot of people are scared. I think people have a misconception that they think they're hiding something from the IRS by having a business. When you have all of these, exemptions, things you can take off by having a business to bring your tax bracket down. So almost every day I have to explain this to people. And they're, okay, help me start my business then. So.
Well, like I said, they gave so much great information. There's so much benefits and tools out there for everybody to take advantage of. Whether you're an artist, whether you are a farm maker, whether you a caterer, whatever the case may be. All the information they gave out today was a broad information that everybody can take advantage of. All our listeners and our viewers out there today. So we're glad that everybody tuned in. Please share this information on that you got today. Share this information that for somebody that may not have opportunity to watch tonight. Share this information again. as I stated earlier, I know I throw it out there, but one thing that we are about at Next Showcase USA is being a blessing and educating people on everyday life tools to live and to go by, and to help them not just in music, but in everyday life that they need to be able to propel to the next level and sustain themselves in this situation. This information on it that we're living in today. All right. So again, I love the feedback. I just love that when it happens. It's just so great. So, hey guys, thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back with another show this coming Friday, the Mark Hubbard Show.
This Friday we have the Mark Hubbard Show. We will be on the Mark Hubbard Show page here on Facebook, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So join us Friday. We have some great guests that are lined up. We will also be talking to African American entrepreneurs. And Friday is Black Friday. So we want to definitely buy black on Black Friday.
Yes. So you never know who may pop in just to say, hey, this is my business. Hey, this is my business. Support me. So we may have that happen. You know, just throw it out there because, again, the show is about supporting. It won't be a full, long interview. But if your business is on there, you got a business, you can type in on the page, and we may bring you on just for a second to say, hey, support me. It's Black Friday. We buying black. Buying black. Buying black.
Right. So what you should do is email me, themarkhubbardshow@gmail.com, themarkhubbardshow@gmail.com, so that we can get you the information you need so that you can pop in.
Right.
And share that information. So if you have a black-owned business and you want to join us on Friday to talk about your business, then email me, themarkhubbardshow@gmail.com, THE Mark Hubbard, HUBBARD. It's on the screen there. Show@gmail. Thank you, Daria. Thank you. Email me, and we can give you the information where you can join us.
Fast, boy.
Yeah.
Them figures are fast. That's the thing about Reggie and Dara. Them figures be fast. It would have taken me another 10 minutes just to get D, and then another 10 minutes to get Mark, which is spelled with the K and not a C.
I should have put a C up there.
You should have put a C. That's an inside joke, guys.
That's a side note. But again, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, be safe. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Please be safe. Please be safe. Take care of yourself. We want to see Christmas. We want to see Thanksgiving 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and on. So come on, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's just one time. You know, that's we talked about this virtual life that we live in. Everybody's going to be doing for the most part.
Let me share. There are some creative things that you can do Thursday to still be with your family and still have your family with you on Thanksgiving and not be in person. So my family, we have a Zoom call set up tomorrow and Thursday where we will be doing so my family, we've never done a full, never had one person do the full Thanksgiving dinner. We've always brought our own individual dish to sort of have a Thanksgiving potluck, I guess you would say. So all of these years, I've never cooked a full out Thanksgiving dinner. So this Thanksgiving, I will be cooking for my house, and we will be getting on Zoom to share our individual dishes. So each person will get on and give a tutorial on what they do for their dish. And we are going to have each dish at our Thanksgiving at our own individual Thanksgiving houses for this Thursday. So get creative with it. Have some fun. We plan on watching a movie on Zoom. You can watch a movie. So have fun, but stay safe. Stay safe. It's important.
I'm going to be, Lady D, did you want to talk? Because I'm going to be doing something on Thanksgiving too in our household that has never, I'm not going to say that has never been done before, but we've definitely been creative in the cooking aspect of our household.
Again?
No, I'm just going to actually wash the dishes probably or something.
Oh, okay. That's
a good job for you. Watch the dish.
I saw a meme today. If you're asked to bring ice, you can't cook.
Cups.
Bring the cups and the soda.
plates, something like that.
What you want me to bring? Oh, you can bring the cup to the the ice or something like that. Bring that.
The forks and spoons too.
Fork and spoon. Hey, no, I can bring a cake. Are you gonna get it from the store?
What store you
No,
going?
I'm gonna say, oh, we got enough pastries. Don't worry about that. You just focus in on the forks or maybe the place for the cake. Don't worry about it. We're okay. We're okay over here. Don't worry about it. We want to see Thanksgiving 2021.
Right. Well, we were going to get together because we usually get together on the holiday, but we are doing a Zoom too. So everybody's cooking at their own house. And then my family loves to play bingo for some reason. Bingo is the most boring thing in the world to me. But we're probably going to have bingo on there because they love it. And probably music. So we'll have a virtual party and Thanksgiving and bingo.
Yeah. Have fun with
everybody's gonna be online virtually. We can still see one another. We just gonna pray at the same time, eat at the same time, and then go about our merry way. It's still Thanksgiving, and we ain't seen each other for the last 9 months, so we might as well one more day. And,
some people still been gathering together, but I don't feel like taking a risk to eat a plate of food. Just to gather together. So no.
They even said, and I know this is the part of the show, but guys, again, be safe because we know that some people are still traveling. And my prayer really to everybody is like, God, for the people that are traveling and going to be around loved ones and they're not doing spitefully, please protect them because we have a friend that she just haven't seen her daughter and her grandchild in so long. It's just just one of the things like
and my nephew just came home from college.
Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to.
He's self-quarantining for 14 days to keep the family safe. Just be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe.
If you make the decision, be safe, be safe. But just know this, the ones that upset me are the ones that say, it's my body, it's my choice. That's not the attitude to have because literally it's not just affecting your body and your choice because this is something that spreads. And so if you have it, you're actually affecting somebody else's body and somebody else. In somebody else's choice that didn't choose for it to have that because you decided to be selfish. So those that have to do it, I understand, but if you're doing it just because it's your body, your choice, that's the wrong attitude to have. But bad guys, that's not what the show is about. Be safe.
Okay, it's a whole rant.
You know me, right? Be safe. Have a good Thanksgiving because you know me, I go to the left in the heartbeat and start ranting for no reason, right? But okay, guys, you guys enjoyed the show. See you guys on Friday. And
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.